Hey guys, and welcome to week 28 of my devlog for Finding Home, the zombie game in creating. Um, this week, I kind of changed up what I was doing and just try to add some more stuff to the world. One of the things, as you can see here, I added like an opening video kind of thing. I have some errors in here. Not really errors, just unforeseen like hiccups, I guess you would say, which I'm gonna look into to fix. And let's see here. One of the things I gotta fix is I gotta make sure that the loading is different, because you don't want to see a level load in and load out like that. So I'll probably do it at the bottom of this hill here. So as you come up the hill, it loads in the level. Or like it loads in the level right as you're like getting up the hill, so you don't, by the time you're at the top of the hill, you don't, this is already had loaded in, so you don't see the kind of abrupt load in there. Try to kill me. Run. So yeah, like I said last time, I got the grass in. I'm really liking the grass. Gotta watch out for that girl. I don't want her to try to kill me. So one of the new things I got in, other than the video that I was working on, is got like a training area in. I noticed that in some of the bases I've been to, like right when you get into the gate, there's kind of like for us in Gagetown, we have like the figure 8 track where you can run into some baseball diamonds. But there's usually some area where soldiers can train and stuff like that. Since this is kind of like a military and ground with the science facility or whatever, I figured they would have some sort of ghetto kind of training area. So it's just a track that goes around, and then some really ghetto obstacle course for now. Some ups, some unders, some overs, and maybe some tire flips, and some makeshift gym that the guys can work out at. You got all your dumbbells, bench press, some things to punch and kick. You know what I mean? And obviously, if they're in the science facility way back there, and they're on their lunch break, they need a place to park to do some training. So, well, parking lot, open field for if they want like to bring their own soccer nets or play some frisbee or something. And then I think we're gonna leave the hill area kind of open, but I'll show you that in engine. The next kind of thing I kind of started working just to level out was the ground over here for shooting range. Just got to get some figure 11s and some markers to kind of mark out. I think this is about 6. I think I can get 6 lanes in this. So again, you get your red lay down, and then yellow marker to mark your lanes, and at the back you're gonna have your red and yellow marker and your figure 11 in between. And then I think it's 2 meters, or maybe I do 3 meters between each lane. And yeah, you shoot down, and then obviously the hills to catch the bullets. They always put like the man-made hill there. I didn't know if I was gonna do like multiple lanes. Like a lot of the ranges have the 100 meter to 200 meter, and they have like little hills here. So like if this was like the 100 meter, they'd have a little hill here, so people would stand and shoot at the figure 11, and it'd be a dip like it is here, and then there'd be a hill here for like the 200 meter where people could shoot at the figure 11, and then it'd be like a dip, and then maybe a hill here for the 300 meter where you could shoot at the targets, and then a dip, and then here would be the 400 meter mark. You know what I mean? But I didn't measure this exactly. I might come back and like fully measure and accurately do that, but I don't know if that's really a need. Just a general kind of shooting range. It is kind of more like a ghetto base because it's more supposed to be focusing on the science facility. But that's really all I had to show for what's in the package. So we'll head over to the engine. Alright. So I guess the first thing I could show you in engine is what I had planned for the video, and we could kind of walk and talk. So this locks your camera to the main camera that's in focus, and you could also set your cameras for peak times for this. So I am changing cameras at certain times to like the vehicle camera and then switching back to the starting camera, but I'll show you here, and then you just pick what camera you're using. So let's lock the camera, go to the very beginning here, and hit play. So originally when I was making this, obviously you see the nice pan down, you see the mountains, you see the vehicle pull up. I'm like, okay, I gotta work on the wheels. I'll do that after. Then switches camera to the vehicle camera. Obviously pulls up, see that there's the roadblock ahead. Zooms in, and I was expecting that you'd be able to see the guys running around. Dialogue would be like, oh, like what's going on? People running with the chickens, and then it fades back into where the player start is, right? And that's kind of how it was gonna look, and that's kind of how the idea I had it. Now, even when I play it non in the EXE, if I play it just here in engine, it doesn't happen the way the level sequencer shows, and that's because they've changed the level sequencer. So I'm gonna have to learn the new way the level sequencer works. See, my vehicle's not moving there. Which I wasn't too sure why it wouldn't be moving. Like you see it in the level sequencer, it moves. My player character is there, and I tried to set the visibility, but the visibility just works for the player start, not the actual player character. But the guys are running around over there, which is good. It's kind of what I kind of intended. But you can see the wall reappear and disappear. So I have to work on where the loading works, so it loads way earlier. I don't want it to load the wall here, because that's kind of silly. So those are the kind of things that I just threw this together, so I'm gonna have to look into that. I already walked you guys through, so well, this is the first. What's wrong? Okay, I'll figure that out in a second. But yeah, what was I gonna go over? Talked about the car. Yeah, I was going over. So this is the level sequence. Oh, right. So when I first started doing cinematics, there was something called a matinee, and that's when I was revealing. Matinees are no longer a thing, and also when I was doing cinematics and level sequences, I would always use what's called is sequence recorder. So I record sequences and then I put it into my my level sequence. But now, as of 4.26, sequence recorders are no longer supported and will be removed from the engine in the near future. Once removed, you'll no longer be able to run sequence recorder at all. It says please use take recorder, so I'm gonna have to learn take recorder. That's sometimes the way things go with engines. You know, I mean, they improve, they adapt, use better technologies, and so you just have to train yourself up on that. It's just been a while since I've done sequences, so that's probably why the truck's not moving and little things like that that I just didn't foresee. And so I'll just have to look into it. But it's still fun to do videos, and as you can see, character visibility. So I wanted to make the character not visible. As you can see, I don't have a character. I just have the player start. So I figured if I made the player start invisible, as you see the red line here, that the character would be invisible. But that's not the case. The actual player start does go invisible, but the character's still there, which is not going to work for me. And the character is actually not in my level designer because he doesn't exist yet. He doesn't get built until the game starts. It also goes for because you could, like, I have it set up for like multiplayer, right? And you don't know how many players they're gonna be, so I'll have to figure out maybe in the player, or something to make it, or have another cheat situation so that you don't see the character as the vehicle comes up. That or the character's actually in the vehicle, and I work on getting that done, like actually doing it properly. But I just want to throw some sort of video in for now. It's a lot of people like kind of a beginning video, but throwing it in was a lot harder than, like, well, there's a little bit things I just gotta fix. But right now, I take away this player start because it's useless. You see on my video, all I really have is two objects. I have my vehicle and I have my camera, and all I'm doing is tracking transformations, like which transforms is just like your location and rotation and your scale. So I'm not scaling these objects, they're staying the same scale, so they're really the location and rotation. So if I grab my viewer here, or my timeline here, woo, you can see I set a keyframe by just clicking this little add a keyframe button. When I have, I'm gonna unlock my screen. When I have set my camera to the right spot, which I wanted to face the sky right here. This is a cinematic camera. I wanted to face the sky, so I set it like that, locked it, and I also wanted my vehicle to start at the bottom of the hill, and I locked it. And then I moved a fair distance out just in case to give me some room. I thought 300 frames would be pretty good. And then I moved the vehicle to here, and I faced the camera down at the vehicle. And then the engine, just like Flash in the old days, if everybody remembers using that, the engine does all the work in between. It does, like, just like you'd think of like a curve or something. It does all the movement for you of how to get camera looking from point A to point B, and how to get vehicle from point A to point B. Now, the camera, I wanted to swing around. So there's a couple different points. I wanted to make sure the camera got out to the edge there, and then I wanted to make the camera come back in. And I want to actually, I'm still probably gonna have to adjust the camera because I want, at this point you can see the line. I switch from the cinematic camera to the vehicle camera, and so now this camera is in control. In the vehicle, you can see these transformations because I wanted it to stick to the road properly. And you can see that there's a hill here, so I wanted it to, this forest is getting in my screen, I wanted it to kind of align with the road. So there's a lot of adjusting with the vehicle to make sure that it's not just going through the ground. And I had to set the rotation and location to kind of make it look. And you can see here, there's a little bit of clipping in the back tire, but in the video you probably won't notice that because the camera's from behind. And I could just sit there and kind of be picky and fix that if I wanted to. But again, there's just a couple of more transformations here. This is when the vehicle gets up, realizes there's the roadblock in front of them, stops the vehicle, and I switch back from the vehicle camera to the starting video camera, and you're zooming in to be like, whoa, whoa, as if the character's leaning forward in the vehicle. Shit, what's going on up ahead? And then, you know what I mean, I would have the maybe vehicle door opening sounds as the character's exiting the vehicle, and then the camera slides back to right behind where the character is or is looking, and then the starting video ends, and then the player character takes over, and he would run. And again, it's just setting keyframes, and all I have is two objects. Again, if I wanted to add something like audio, all it is click track, add actor, or add audio track, right? And there it is. And you just put what time or what place you want the audio to start, when do you want the audio to end. And to learn this, to do something like, again, a lot of shows like The Mandalorian or something like that use Unreal Engine, because it's so easy to manipulate and stuff like that. If you want to do little shorts for YouTube or this and that, it's really easy to kind of do this. You might want to watch some videos like I have to do for certain type of objects, like, because this is not just a regular static mesh or a camera. This is an actual pawn. This is an actual, like, thing that can be possessed. It has multiple components. The wheels are turned by torque and steering and stuff like that. And that's probably why when I ran I'm just moving the transform of the vehicle like it's a static mesh or something, why it's not actually moving when it comes to when I run it as an EXE or when I hit the play button, but in my sequencer it's actually moving. That's probably why, because once it gets into the engine and when you hit play, it's relying on physics and stuff, and just because you're trying to drag something across the ground doesn't mean it's going to move if the physics are like it's a heavy vehicle and stuff like that. You'd actually have to simulate that, and that's where again I'm probably going to have to use the take recorder. I'm going to have to possess the vehicle at some point, maybe disable the main character for a sec, possess the vehicle, drive from point A to point B, and save that as a take recording, and then add that take recording to my level sequencer, so I get that and into the level sequencer. That's maybe how you're doing that way. The other thing I wanted to quickly go over was adding stuff to like when I went and placed all these objects down. I wanted to show you guys, but my engine actually crashed on me, so I had to restart, and I remade the video here. But what you do is you select all the objects in the level after you're done placing them all in. Luckily, like I said, this is a nice simple level. And then you just go to blueprint, you know what I mean, convert to blueprint, and I just made them all an actor, because it's an actor is something you can place in the world. Once I have them all as an actor, as you can see, it takes up less space here. And then I would right click this again, and I'm gonna, and this is also, I saved the blueprint so I could edit it. So maybe later, like I don't really like these bob wire things that you go under. I find a better thing for the bob wire, or I find a better tent, which this tent is meant to have like it's like an air conditioner slash heater. We usually have a heater which looks kind of like a generator kind of thing hooked up to these, and there's these big tubes that go in there, and that heats this this area up. That's the style tent, but I don't know if I wanted to use that style tent or just use like a mod tent. So I might swap out this tent for something more like just a regular mod tent. But this does work. I could add the heater and stuff to it. And if I do want to edit any of this later, that's why I keep it as a blueprint. Because once I do the right click and I merge it as one actor, I can't edit it anymore. It's merged, it's not editable. But the reason why you merge it into an actor, like into one solid mesh, is just because performance wise it's gonna save. Usually. because they could calculate all the collisions just easier. And then you have your mesh. One of the things you'd want to do is you'd want to set up your LODs. I like to do 5. 0. And then I'd like to manually set up. Hopefully I didn't crash my engine again, but do 5, apply. And again, LODs is level of detail. So when you're looking at an object for a certain distance, it shows you what LOD you are. So the farther you get away, see how the ground change there? The less triangles it's going to use and stuff. For some reason, the only thing that's adjusting here, as you can see with the LODs, is the basketball court. I believe. LOD1, we're going from 4,000 triangles, 2,000 triangles, 1,000 triangles, 76,000 triangles. Yeah, then you would just set here. You set how many LODs, and when you're picking which LOD here, you could set the reductions and what screen size they reduce at. So I usually just do triangles reduction 100%. Well, that's how many triangles are left. So at level 0, it's 100%. If you want to switch to LOD 1, the screen size that it changes at points at 0.75 of the screen. 1 supposed to. Triangles. Yeah, and then I would just set the LODs to what I prefer. But yeah, I think the video is getting pretty long. I went over a little bit of the level sequencer, talked about creating blueprints and stuff for the guys that are doing school and checking out engines and kind of checking out the Unreal, and just wanted to learn some stuff. But yeah, that's what I had this week. Please let me know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. And sorry for making this so long. I just wanted people had asked for a couple of more tips and tricks and to show them a couple of things. And I just get sidetracked, I think, and I don't want to go too long, but also I don't want to just not show anything. And I feel like sometimes I rush it out. So now that I can make a little bit longer videos, I wanted to just kind of show some stuff. But yeah, let me know what you think. If it's too long, I'll cut it short again. But yeah, you guys have a good one. Thank you so much. Ciao.